If you're looking for some fun, easy, quick Christmas sewing projects, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a Christmas tree skirt out of some really cute Christmas fabric, and we're going to be personalizing it with some Siser HTV vinyl. Hey sewing friends, it's Megan from Sew and Tell Australia here, a sewing blog where I share sewing education, video tutorials and pattern reviews to help you become a more confident and creative sewer. So in this video, we are going to be making a tree skirt, which is a great Christmas sewing project. So I'm going to be using this cotton poplin from Spotlight, and I've also got a red, and we're going to personalize it with some really cool Siser HTV vinyl. So I've got some gold glitter and some metallic gold, which is going to look so cool. I've also got red, so I've got some red vinyl, green, black, white, basically all the Christmas colours. So we're going to create some really cute designs and personalise it up. But to get started, we need to make our Christmas tree skirt. So I'm going to take you through my process to do that. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure how wide across my fabric is. It's a bit hard to keep it all in frame, but I will check here. So it is... It's a 45-inch bolt, which is 114 centimetres wide. And now I want to make this a square because I'm going to do like a circle skirt. So half of 45 is 22.5 inches. So I'm going to have a look, which is about here, 22.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it about here. And I'll check on the other side as well. Yep, that's pretty good. So now I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to fold it again. I'll lay this out. So once we've got it folded in half and then half again, we can lay this on our cutting table. Make sure it's all nice. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out, first we're going to cut out our sort of tree area where it's going to go around the tree, and then we'll cut the larger bit out. So what we're going to do is get our measuring tape. I'm going to cut my trunk area 3 inches. So I'm going to get a tailor's chalk and mark 3 inches, and then I'll go here, here, and here. And then we can just make a rough circle. And then to get our end measurement here, we are going to check from here. We might do 22, which is here. And then again, we're just marking that 22 inches every little bit. So I've got my marks here, so now I can just draw a rough curve. All right, so we've got our bottom curve and our top curve, which I'm now going to cut. So I now have my basic tree skirt in the under fabric. So I'm probably going to personalize on the red but I'll wait and see once I cut it out. So we're not finished yet. I'll do the same as I did to this as I did to the red, and then we'll do the next part. I have now cut my 2 pieces. So I've got my red and my reindeers. So the next thing we need to do is we actually need to cut one of them open, because we can't get our tree skirt, you know, over the top of the Christmas tree. So we need to cut our tree skirt open. Now, if you have a directional fabric like this one, I suggest that you cut your tree opening at the back, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to lay it in half. I'll just pop this to the side. Line up all my edges again, so I know that I've got it in half. Make sure my center opening is there. And now, making sure that my reindeers are facing this way, I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to, it really should be more even, shouldn't it? Like this. It's a complete circle, so it really doesn't matter. So I've got my back opening here, and what I'm going to do is cut it open. And I'm going to do the same to my red, which it doesn't matter whether it is up or down on that one. So I will quickly do my red one. Done my red one as well. Now this is where you can decide if you want to put a interfacing on this. So you might want to put like a foam interfacing or a wadding even. I'm not going to worry for mine, but the next thing that we need to do, we're going to lay our pieces out, and you want to lay them, the bottom one will be right side up, and if you don't have a big enough area, you might need to do it in stages. And then we're going to get our top piece and lay it right side down. And what we want to start to do is line up all our edges. So what we're going to do is we're going to pin or clip all the way around, but we're going to leave an opening because we are going to sew this and then turn it right side out. So I'm going to start to pin and clip this, and then I will come back and show you, but I will end up leaving probably a decent opening. What's that? Like a 10-inch opening, and then when we top stitch it, we'll be able to close that opening up. So I will clip this together and then I'll come back and show you before I go and sew it. I have now clipped our tree skirt together. So there were some slight discrepancies, and that's just because we did it pretty easily, and I'm going with near enough is good enough on this. So I'm actually going to take this over to my overlocker or serger, and I'm going to serge this because I'm a lazy sewer, and I am just going to make sure I probably start from about here on one end. I'm going to go all the way around, and then we will come up and go back and we'll finish here. So I'll take you over to my serger and we can sew this one up. I am starting from about halfway down using my Baby Lock Acclaim. I've got my stitch length to 3, and I don't need to worry about tension. And the first bit, I'm just going to go right off the edge and then start again. So the thing I am going to be wary of is that I do have some discrepancies in my fabric lining up. So I'm just going to come in a little bit as I go, just so I'm making sure that I'm catching both edges of the fabric. So as I can see here, I've got a bit of a discrepancy. So I'm just making sure, double check I'm getting it all. Yeah, caught it all really well. And I'm just going to continue to go all the way around. I'm starting to come back near the end now, so I come off And then we just do this last little bit. So like I said, I'm going to leave probably that much of an opening, so I'll come off. And now we can turn it inside out. I'm just going to trim all these little threads off to get it ready to turn. But it's come up really well. I am looking forward to turning this inside out, or right sides out. So now that we've got all those little threads off, we're going to take our opening and we're just going to, whatever is easiest for you, pull it through like so. All the way. It's a good idea to get a chopstick or, you know, a bodkin or something. I have a purple Thang, which is from Lynn Graves. I'll link it in the description below, and it's just a really cool little tool that can help you push and poke out your corners. So I'm going to get it and find my corners so that I can poke them out. Get a really nice clean corner. Look at that. Beautiful. Do it in the top corner as well. Beautiful and clean. And we'll go on this side. Perfect. And this end as well. Okay, so now that I have pushed out all my corners, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to press this one. So I'm going to give a really, really good press along all the seams so that we get it nice and looking neat. And then we are going to top stitch it. So I'll give it a good press and then I'll set up my normal domestic machine and we can start to top stitch. I have pressed my tree skirt, and where we had the opening I've just folded in the raw edges and pressed it, but I gave it a really, really good press. So now it's looking nice and beautiful. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to start from this end. I'm going to top stitch all the way around. So I generally like to line up my foot with something, so I'm going to line it up with the edge here. And then I'm going to start. And I'm just going to back stitch a little bit. And now I'm just going to sew all the way around, top stitching. I've got my stitch length set to 2.8. So I'm literally just going to go all the way around now, top stitching, and then we get to do the fun part, which is put the vinyl on. I have now top stitched everything. We enclosed our seam on the other side. So that's looking good. I did miss it a little bit here, but I just went back and went over it. Now we get to do the fun bit, which is personalizing it. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do a really beautiful Merry Christmas in the center here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this space. So it's 18 inches wide, I guess, or not wide, but deep. And then to sort of make sure it's looking sort of centered, I probably don't want to go any more than about 23 inches wide. So I'm thinking I might do a Merry Christmas in gold lettering, but I'll have a black background so that it pops off the reindeers because it's quite a busy fabric. So I think by adding the black, if we have the black in the background, and then I have the beautiful gold sparkles it's going to look really good. So I will take you over to the Leonardo design studio and we will start to design up our design so that we can then cut it out and stick it on. I've opened up my Leonardo Design Studio workspace. So there's so many cool things in here. There's tutorials on how to do things. There's inspiration. So there's heaps of, you know, Christmas and New Year and festive season stuff at the moment, which is cool. There's your design library. There's a material library. So this is a really great way to go in and check, you know, what all the application instructions are and, you know, what it can do. Is it layerable? Can you iron it on? You know, what does it adhere well to? So it's really a great tool to be able to come in and use the Siser Leonardo Design Studio. So I'm going to the new design, and we had, I want to make an 18-inch high, but first I'm going to choose my text. So I want something that's a little bit scripty, a bit fun. Might even go with brush script. So I'm going to say Merry Christmas. And let me choose. I want it to be, let's see what happens. Wow, that's huge. So we definitely don't want this big. So I will go back and change it. So that's the size in inches. We probably only want, I'm just going to grab a ruler. So I've had a look and I wanted about 8 inches high. So let's see if that's a little bit better. Say apply, it is much, much better. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break it apart. So because I want to try and get this a little bit more together, I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to do 2 different text layers. Like that, so then I can bring it a bit closer together to be able to work on it. Now we are going to cut on a roll, so I'm going to change this to roll, which gives us a much bigger area to work with. And we are going to the media width. So how long is this? It is 26 inches, which is actually longer than we wanted. We only wanted it at about 23, so I'm going to bring it down, and I'm even going to bring it to 20-ish inches. So we'll do that. So we will make our media width, we'll make that 25. Oops, media width 25 inches. 25. Must be this bit. So I've made that 25 and our width is 12. So we will need to turn this, but for the moment I'm going to just keep it, but we'll be able to see, yes, it fits, great. So now what I want to do is I actually want to, I can probably weld that together now, weld it back together. Oh, it lost its compounds. I'm going to leave it for now, but I'm actually going to do a copy and a paste and move it down. And now I want to build contours. So this is going to be the black layer, and I'm going to go cut only. I'm not going to worry about including holes. So we're going to say yes, and we're going to now start building out our contour. And I want a pretty thick one because it's quite, you know, it's quite a chunky reindeer. So I really want to make sure that we're going to see our gold design. So I might just bring it down a little bit So I'm just keeping an eye on this. I want that there, and we can have a little space there, but everything else can stay together. And I'm going to say apply. So there we have our background, and we'll group those together. And just so that we're able to see, let's change the color, and we'll change it to yellow just so we can see. Oh, it's at the back. We will bring it, order, bring to front. So now we can see it's going to sit beautifully there. I'm very happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is turn this 90 degrees, like so. And I'll move it there, although I think... So that is our design. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to send my design. That is all right. So now we've got our black and our yellow. Actually, I do need to go back and weld this design because you can see it's going to cut those little bits. So we'll go back. We will click the yellow and we will say weld, which I think that should be right now. So let's send, check the yellow. Yes, that's much better. It's all connected. So I will now go and set up my Siser Juliet and we can start cutting. One of my favorite things about the Juliet is that you can actually cut matless. So you can just feed your sheet in, make sure it's all lined up. And then I'm just going to load it up back to here. I also love that you can do the cut settings. So I've got easy weed. I'm very happy with that. I can do a little test cut if I want to, so that I'm not, you know, taking up heaps of the vinyl. So I can just pull this out and get my weeder. Check that that is going to work. Which, yep, that's a nice clean cut. Perfect, hasn't gone all the way through. So now I can load my material or media back up. So before you send it, you do actually need to mirror your design, which I have done. And now I can send it and it's going to start cutting. So it's cutting it really smooth. So we can see it's really quiet. And it doesn't take a lot of time either. So that is our black cut. I'm going to put that aside and we can do our gold. I'm going to load the gold up now. And we are going to have to do another test because this is quite chunky. So I'll load it up. And I'm going to go back to my cut settings and glitter, load. I actually like to do it a little bit harder because from memory I think it was a bit tricky. So we'll do a little test cut. You want it to be hard enough that it comes, you know, comes out easily, but not too hard that it cuts all the way through. So we'll have a little look. So that's pretty perfect. I'm actually very happy with that. So I'm going to save that setting. So I'm going to say update. Yep. So now I'm going to bring it back a bit. I have really dodgy fingers, so it doesn't like my fingers, but I'm going to bring it down. And the best thing is you can set the blade position. So I'm going to set it just past the little t-shirt that we cut out. Then I'm going to make sure that my yellow layer is selected, which it is. And we can send. And again, it is cutting so beautifully and easily. And I just love the matless, you know, being able to cut matless. I think that's a bit of a game changer because, you know, sometimes you really can't be bothered getting your mat out, or, you know, you've got little bits that aren't going to fit, or your mat isn't long enough. And by doing it matless, you know, you don't have to worry about having a long enough mat. You can essentially cut as long as you want to. So it makes cutting signage and longer designs much, much easier. Done. Now the weeding part. Got my two designs here, so I'm going to start with the black. And I might even cut it down a little bit because there's still quite a lot of usable vinyl here. And that is one of the things I love about the matless cutting, is that you can use up a lot of these little scrap bits because you just move the position of your rollers and you're able to use it. So I'm just going to trim this edge off here, making sure that I'm not going to take any of it with me. Nope. Beautiful. So now we're going to see how easy it is to weed the easy weed. There should be a hint. It's easy. So we're just pulling this all back, like so. Look how easy it is just to pull. It's so quick with the easy weed. And this is actually the eco stretch, so you can use it on cotton lycra as well. We're doing it on a woven. You can use this on cotton lycra or cotton spandex, anything with stretch in it. Just gives extra stretch, which is always handy. Now we'll get this middle bit. Make sure I'm getting the right bits, which is here. Like so. And there is our outline ready to go. I'll just pull this bit off as well because otherwise no doubt it will end up on our design. So this is our black, and now I'll do the glitter. As you can see, even the glitter is super easy to weed. You know, you're not fighting with it. It's just coming away really easily. Let's make sure I've got it in the right place. It's here, isn't it? There we go. You know, even those fine bits are just coming away super easy. So even if you don't have a Siser Juliet, which I recommend getting, you can still use the Siser Vinyl on other machines. So just because you don't have a Juliet doesn't mean you can't experience the ease of the Siser HTV. And I mean, as you can see, it's just so beautiful. The hardest part is just making sure you're getting the right lines. And that is our last little bit. Take our t-shirt off again in case it ends up on my design. Merry Christmas. So that is all going to sit on here. Oh, it's going to look so good. So now I'm going to take you over to my heat press and we can apply our design to our tree skirt. I have loaded up my tree skirt on the press, on the heat press. So I have one of the bigger ones, which is a 15-inch by 15-inch flatten. I actually found the center of the tree skirt so that I could get it in the center of my design. I am going to have to do it in 2 passes because even still, it is not big enough. But now I'm going to put it sort of closer to the bottom, I think. I think here will be good. I'm going to line it up in the middle. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to tack it just very quickly, and then I will put the gold on, and then I will do 2 passes to make sure that we're getting it nice and adhered. So I'm just going to quickly do about 3 seconds. And I'm just going to do this edge as well. Just want enough so that we're going to be able to peel the carrier sheet off. Okay. Great, so we are able to peel that off now. So we are lining up our gold now, making sure it's all nice and centered and happy. Pretty happy with that. So now I'm going to do 2 passes. So we're going to do, it's set to 150 degrees. I'm going to bring it down for 15 seconds, which the machine actually counts for me over there. Like so. And now we'll pull it to the other side and do the other half. So that's that. And now I'm pretty sure the gold is a cold peel, so I'll double check that before we peel it off, but I can't wait to see. Okay, so it is a warm peel, which it is warm just. So as you can see, it peels off really easy. And oh my Lord, does it look amazing. So I am so happy with that. So I think I will go back and add some other little motifs later. We'll see how we go. But as you can see, it was so easy to use the Siser Easy Weed. This is the Eco Stretch Black, but it's the same as the Easy Weed, just normal HTV. And the glitter, I think this was old gold. But I'm so happy with how this looks. There we have our completed tree skirt. So it is going to be so beautiful. As I said, I might go back and put some more on, but honestly, I think it actually looks quite good just with that. Like, it's really quite effective. Thanks for joining me for another tutorial for some Christmas sewing projects. I hope you got some value out of this and that you'll go and try some Siser HTV Vinyl. I will link some links in the description below about how to, get your hands on some Siser HTV Vinyl. I've also got a link down there if you want my top 3 Christmas gift ideas, like easy handmade gift ideas. I'll link that below for you to have a look at as well. It's just a easy PDF that you can download. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you got value, make sure you hit the thumbs up, and I would really love if you could subscribe. It helps me a lot. And all my socials are listed below as well if you want to come hang out in the virtual world. I'm a big fan of Instagram. So I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.